Hello and welcome to another Grit and Grime basketball podcast. I'm your host, as always, David Sagoe. Along with me today, we've got Thomas Arnal. He only does everything behind the scenes.
I am.
And Jose Garcia Vidal, revving them engines.
Hey guys.
And a special guest, new face, Denzel Ubiaro.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Cool. So we've got you with us. We're gonna just ask you some questions about your career, your life in basketball, how the two intertwine, and then we're gonna have you play LeBron James, which I'm sure will be nice for a little while, a little out of body experience. And draft some all-stars. So I guess we'll just start at the beginning. Did my research, my due diligence. So you started playing basketball when you were in Texas, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, when I was in Texas. Yeah, this was when I was about 11, 12 years old. Yeah, I played for my junior high school team. Fun fact, I actually used to hate playing basketball when I was in Texas. I used to hate it. Texas is they're real big on like American football,
right?
All that stuff. So that's what I was kind of into. But at the time I was like the tallest kid in my school, so all the guys was like, "Yeah, Dan, just go try out, man. You'll make the team." And I'm just like, not really feeling it, but we'll see how it goes, anyways. And then ended up making the team, and the rest is history.
That's crazy. Crazy. But so were you born over there, or did you move there young?
Yeah, I moved there when I was, first I moved to Atlanta when I was 5. I'm originally born in London, but I moved to Atlanta first when I was 5. Lived there for about 3-4 years, and then moved to Houston, Texas, Pearland to be specific, and then stayed there for another 3-4 years.
Okay. That's interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you tried out for the team, obviously made the team. And then at what point did you come back?
This was in 2010. That's when I moved back to London. Yeah, so I was only playing basketball in Texas for like a year and a half or so.
Right.
So back to London. My brother and sister, they moved back to London before I did. They graduated high school and they went on to university in London. A bit more easier, cheaper as well, close to home too. So brother ends up finding a dude with a basketball on the road and just says, "Oh, yo, what team you play for?" Like, my brother's finding from America, obviously big me up, like, "Yeah, he's American, he's sick, like he's got all the skills." Because I'm terrible at basketball at this time, just lanky and athletic. But that's how I kind of ended up joining the Peckham Pride team in London under 30. Nice. It was
And then you worked your way up through the ranks. I think I caught you playing what school was it? There's a school up in Wembley that was my home court for Westside second team, and I think I saw you playing there. I can't remember what team it was against, but yeah, I caught you up there one time. What was the contrast like playing high? Not even junior high. Is that junior high? Age 12?
Junior high school, yeah. So it was the 7th grade, and I think that translates to year 8, I think. If I'm correct, I think that might be year 8, yeah. But the difference, main difference, I think it's just more like the competitiveness of it, the competitiveness, like there's more of I think there's like a bigger culture behind sports in America than there is, England, like that's kind of their pride and joy and passionate about it. So there's more of a competitiveness, a grit about them, playing in America a little bit. And that starts from like a very, very young age, super young age.
Right.
And then for a little bit, I did play AAU basketball. And that's obviously just a whole nother level, So we're 12, 11 playing against under 15, under 16 guys.
Right.
And then, blocking shots off the backboard, I'm just there on the sideline like, what? Like, I'm not trying to get into the game at this point,
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest contrast, that culture behind it and competitiveness.
I think that it's very interesting what you're saying, because I think that
I mean, in England, you do have, in the UK, like a sports culture, but you don't see kids playing basketball, right? Because it's very hard to find a court somewhere, right? But you see kids playing football or rugby even. But basketball, like
cricket.
in America, basketball hoops, you see courts all around, and that's why like you just go around the corner and you have a basketball court. So you will be more inclined to play basketball there, right? Like the culture is completely different.
Yeah, 100%. Like even one time I think in my neighborhood, this is when I actually liked basketball. But yeah, just went to one kid, young kid. He played basketball. His dad was real big into basketball. And my friends were just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to his house play basketball. So I just thought like, oh yeah, he's got like a hoop in his driveway. We'll play. Ended up going through his backyard. He has like a full half court. I'm just thinking to myself like, what on earth?
Nice.
Like it's different, and just stayed there till late. Ended up getting in trouble and screamed at by my mom, but hey, it was worth it, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I bet.
It was worth it.
That's crazy, a whole half court. And that's the other thing, being in Texas, like there's just so much more space. Like everything in London is so cramped up. So yeah I can imagine.
100%. Yeah.
So then you came over here, you said you were playing for Peckham, and then I think you played here through our college years, right? 16 to 18.
Yes. Yeah. So I played for Peckham Pride when I was roughly like 12 to 14, 12 to under 15s, actually, yeah. And last year of National League under 15s, spoke to Coach Sterling. He was the coach at the time, and he was saying like, oh yeah, Dens, think you should go to Westminster Warriors and play under 16 at these times. And for me, it was funny because we had such strict rules with Peckham, where like strict to the point like we're not allowed to eat chicken and chips. If we're caught eating chicken and chips, wow, probably like 1,000 suicides. Like it's something ridiculous. So many stories like no one's eating chicken and chips. Make sure you have some proper food. Like none of that. And then we'll go to so many different like scrimmages and like basketball events where funny enough you'll see Westminster Warrior guys there and they're just eating chicken and chips, all this stuff. So we're looking at it like, what on earth? Like, no, this is bad. This is a sin. No, you can't do this. So at the time, my mind is just like, no, I'm not really trying to go there, But obviously, Coach Sterling and Coach Jackson, who was the coach of, Westminster Warriors, they're saying, they're obviously great friends. And, Coach Jackson ends up talking to me like, yeah, Den's come, like, this will benefit you coming to, playing what was Premier at the time, whereas Peckham was Conference. I think that's what it was, yeah. So obviously it was a bit better competition. And then you had the under 18 guys that I could practice with as well. So I ended up going to Westminster Warriors from 16 to 18. And then playing obviously under 16s and then under 18s. Last year under 18s, being able to play for the men's team as well, which is good experience too. So it was different, but it was needed for my development and growth at that time.
You're talking about growing and development, like because you mentioned you hated basketball where you were super young, right?
Yeah.
So my question to you is, I think we all growing up and playing basketball, we all had that one role model. We all had that one game we remember that made us fall in love with basketball. Did you have that one moment where you thought, oh, actually, I do enjoy this game. I like the sport. And did you have also a player you were following at the same time that made you like the game or love the game?
Yeah, definitely. There was a few different times that made me realize I actually love this sport. I think the first time it was Christmas. No, before that actually. So my junior high school team, we made it to the finals. I think it was the conference finals or like some sort of area finals. We made it and it was a close game with Doral. I think lost by like a point or 2 points. And then obviously I was a bit of a hothead. Well, let me not say a bit. I was a very, very like angry child. Like I was quite a hothead when I was. So obviously I was like just angry that we lost the game. I was just like, bawling my eyes out, just mad, heated. And then, just the next day thinking to myself like, yeah, I'm really passionate about this game of basketball, it's crazy.
Sure, do you care? Yeah.
I actually care, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then that following Christmas, parents actually got me NBA 2K10.
Nice.
Yes.
And, yeah, I think that was the cover when Kobe was on it.
Kobe, yeah.
Nice.
I think I even got like the limited edition, so I was gassed. But Kobe was on it, so I was just playing it, and using Kobe as well. Like he's just killing on the game, unstoppable. So that's when I was just like, oh yeah, like this is sick. This is kind of what I want to do in real life,
Mm.
So it was like those two key like little moments that I was just like, yeah, I'm actually falling in love with this sport.
Mm. And did you have a player that you were kind of thinking, oh, I could base my game or sort of copy, like Kobe was copying MJ in terms of moves and mentality, right?
Yeah.
Do you have somebody like that you sort of look up to and say, hey, that guy, I'm the same type of player and I want to be this. I also want to be that player that he was.
Yeah. At a younger age.
Or even now, I mean.
From now. I'll say Westbrook, I think like we're both quite athletic. Well, he's definitely athletic. I feel like I'm a little bit athletic as well. And, kind of just that play style he has of like, he just plays all out. Like, I personally think he doesn't even worry about his stats, or people say that he loves to pad stats and stuff. I'm just like, look, if you can get a quadruple double, you're trying to win a game. That's how I kind of see, if you're trying to get a triple double every game, you're trying to win. So it's just like, he's just an ultimate competitor. And, that's kind of something that I would like to have characteristics of. And hopefully I'm portraying that characteristics, playing with Raiders and, coming into games as well.
I'll tell you what, I saw that dunk that you made it to top 10 the other day in the BBL. Like, they were number 1. Like, that dunk, man, that was Westbrook, like, hands down. That was sick, man.
Yeah,
definitely. I can see you're imitating Westbrook there. That was definitely a Westbrook like dunk.
Nah, I do try. Even some of my teammates are like, "Hey, Denzel, baby Westbrook." I'm just like, don't know about that yet, but keep working towards it.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you were gonna say early on that you had a different not idol, but a different target.
Model.
Yeah, when I was younger, it wasn't really Kobe, because at the time I was like a center, like power forward playing position. So I think I would usually like look at guys like Kevin Garnett, who else was there at the time? Amari Stoudemire. Yeah, that's it. I was really picking him up. Because at the time, 2010, I forgot what team. It was either Suns or I think it might have been
It would have been Suns,
bounce, just killing, pick and roll. Like, he was just unstoppable at that time. So I was watching like a little bit of his highlights, and I was just like, trying to be like him, trying to be like him. But obviously, the more I got older, and the more my growth started to just stop, I was just like, all right, cool. I'm starting to be more of a power forward, and then got a little bit older, small forward, shooting guard, point guard. So I feel like the older I got, the more different, like, my idols was, so to speak. Yeah,
because for the most part, still in the BBL, it's still positions, right, based on height roughly. So as you go up the ranks and you meet bigger and bigger people, bigger and bigger challenges, they move you back down the positions.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think I started to acknowledge that when I was under 16s, I think. Yeah, first year under 16s, like, start meeting guys that were, 6'6", who were bigs. And I'm 6'2" at the time, and I'm having to guard them. So I was just like, I need to get the ball handling up a little bit, get the shooting a little bit better as well. Start bringing these defenders out, and then, kind of makes my life easier. And then slowly, next year, I'm, the older guy amongst the under 16 lot. So I'm kind of having to lead a little bit more.
Right.
And then that's what I took upon myself. Like, all right, cool. Let me see if I can run point guard a little bit here and there. And then come under 18s, that's when I kind of slowly start to kind of get the combo guard going on. Like, okay, I can play point when I need to. I can play off ball when I need to as well, So, yeah, I definitely think, older you get, the more you realize, and the better level you get to, the more you have to kind of be skilled and in different positions. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And then also that helps you understand, especially as a guard, understand what the big man's role is, because you've done it a little bit in the past. You then know where they should be, how they should handle certain things, and you know how to get them the ball, how they like it. In the post, when you see that big hand come up, Jose knows.
I think it's so
You see that
important,
hand
isn't
come
it?
up.
So important to give the big man the ball, because the big man is fighting down there all the time, getting elbowed and everything, and then you don't give him the ball, that player is gonna hate you. Isn't it? So if you play in the low post and then you transition to point guard, you know exactly what to do. So big man must love you, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, 100%. Like, there's countless of stories and moments where like, big man's fighting, like guards, even I'm at fault for it as well. We'll try and look for him and we're just like, can't get it. You'll just see the hands go down like, I'm open, I'm under the basket the ball, So I'm definitely at fault for it. So yeah, I definitely understand.
Yeah, Dave and I had so many issues with that, and I used to play inside and he would never give me the ball and I was fighting my way to the basket.
Yeah.
I can so relate.
Tom stands at 40 and calls for it. Shoots the three from 40 feet.
I go bank every time.
Go let it fly.
So then you at what point did you go back to America for junior college?
This was in 2015. Yeah, 2015. Went to junior college in Iowa called Marshalltown on a full scholarship. So yeah, that was a whole experience of itself, really. That's kind of your first taste of freedom, I guess, Well, literally it was your first taste of freedom, like, going to a different country. Well, I would say officially going to a different country on my own terms, Yeah, it's just an insane experience, insane stories, so many stories.
Yeah, you don't have to tell us any of your secrets. It's all right.
If you went from not being able to eat chicken and chips to full freedom,
being an 18-year-old kid, yeah,
in the US,
KFC buckets, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and obviously, again, that must have been a step going back to America and having to play in their collegiate system.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like, being at a small school as well? I know that's like a whole thing, like the way that the colleges are ranked over there. When you're in a small school, sometimes you might have a local school, which is huge, like a Division I school, might have to play against once or twice a year. What was that whole experience like, being in that environment in a small school rather than a big Division I college, for example?
Yeah, so Marshalltown is a junior college, so it's a 2-year school. So it was a Division I junior college, so they'll obviously play other 2-year schools, and then sometimes in the fixtures they'll create friendlies with other 4-year schools, NAIA schools, that's what it's called. Yeah, other fixtures with their second team, so to speak. But I think it's more with junior college, there's more of what's the word I'm looking for? More of like an attitude, whereas everyone's trying to get theirs, as much as everyone in the team's cool, your boys with, hang out with, play video games or whatever. There's also that attitude of, look, I'm here for 2 years. I need to get a scholarship and a job opportunity somewhere else, So obviously there's just kind of that culture where it's like, yeah, I'm cool with everyone, but yeah, I need to go. And it translates on the court, where it's like, possible one time, taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dribbles, trying to get there. Oh, if it's not there, okay, I have to pass now,
Right.
Whereas instead of like, look, let's just make everyone look good so we can go to the next opportunity, But yeah, going to a smaller school I'm kind of used to it, because I felt like I've always been at smaller schools, like sixth form at Basketball Academy. It was in a massive school, even when I was in Texas, I've always been at small schools. And then, going back to Iowa, it was a smaller school, but I was just kind of used to it though, just seeing familiar faces. I'm quite used to it and content with it. Then, up the road, there's the high school, which everything is just way bigger, the gym's way bigger. Like, they have a couple thousand seats, whereas we have like a couple hundred seats, which is just insane, because it's a high, these are kids. And then up the road even further, there's, Iowa State University.
Yeah.
I need to say anything more than that, it's a Big 12 school. So it's just insane. But I've always just kind of been used to, smaller schools and so to speak, really.
Right. And that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because what was I going to say? Smaller schools. Yeah. So then you finished up there. Did you serve out the whole 2 years?
Yeah. No, actually. So yeah, I was about to get onto that. No. So I just did my 1 year, and I was actually going to link it to when I went quote unquote jobs. So I was on a full scholarship, and at the end of the year, you usually have your team meetings with the coach and all the players, like individually. So I had my meeting with the coach, and I like lost half of my scholarship because we had that conversation like, oh, Denz, we brought you in on a full scholarship, you had expectations, and unfortunately you didn't meet your expectations, so obviously I'm gutted. So I'm just like, oh, I failed, I didn't do good, like I put a bad name on my family, my coaches, obviously. They kind of, helped me and pushed me into this situation, and I didn't do the one thing that I came to do, was play basketball at a high level. So obviously I was just beating myself up, quite just angry, hurt about it, really. But that was kind of my first taste of the professionalism in basketball, and that basketball is a job once you get a higher and higher level. Because at the end of the day, if we win games as a player, we're technically feeding the coach's family because he gets to keep his job.
Yeah.
So he has to make the cutthroat decisions, So that was kind of my first taste of like, oh yeah, like basketball is really kind of cutthroat the higher level you get to, know.
Yeah. And the way that I remembered what I was going to say before, the way that you described trying to make it from a junior college to a senior college it kind of mirrors trying to make it out of the G League into the NBA. Because they say a lot of players in the G League are just out for themselves, and they're just trying to score as many buckets as possible to try and get themselves, a 10-day, or try and get themselves that opportunity to move up. And yeah, it seems like that's a similar situation.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely a similar situation, because, you're trying to get to that next level in, your journey, whether it's D1, D2, D3, NAIA school, essentially just trying to get a free education while playing the best basketball possible. So likewise with like the G League guys, they're trying to get as much money and the best opportunity as possible, and get to their dream, which is being to the NBA. And if anything, they're close because they're in that link, they're in that clear link to get to the NBA as well. So yeah, 100% dudes are trying to get 40, 50 just to get onto the squad team, so yeah, it makes sense.
I find it super, super interesting that the way you talk about this experience and how you made it into a positive thing, because I imagine like you, I don't know how many other players lost their scholarship or whatever, and they just probably decided to, quit basketball forever, right? Because they get so bummed out by it. I think it's just very important to, like you said, okay, this is my first taste of professionalism, like you just said, but you just made it to a positive and you kept going, right? Like, and that's the thing, right? Because it can happen to anybody, really.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like, for example, the biggest thing that I wasn't doing enough of in junior college was kind of using my athleticism really to my advantage. So crashing the offensive rebound, attacking the rim as hard as possible. So like come, my first year in Plymouth, the one thing in my mind was, okay, I'm not losing this opportunity. Crash every single offensive rebound, no matter what, and just play the best possible defense ever, like I personally can, So I feel like I'm just quite naturally always trying to see the positive in something, because it's easy for anyone to be like, super easy for be like, oh, the coach did me wrong, he didn't play me enough minutes, oh, he doesn't like me. Like, that's easy to do, but at the end of the day, like, I'm the one on the court playing basketball. Like, coach isn't playing, come to practice, I'm actually playing. I could just do what I can do, control the controllables. I think that's kind of where I have to stay positive,
That's exactly what I was going to say. You control the things you can control on the court, and most of the time that is defense and effort, right? Anything else can be affected by what's going on, your teammates and everything else around you, but defense and effort, there's no excuses for not putting in those two things. So you ended up back of that 1 year in college. Was there ever any did you ever think of going abroad or playing in Europe or anything like that at that point?
1,000%. Yeah. At that point, I was just like, yeah, I'm done with education. I'm trying to go Spain, live in a hot country, get a paycheck, and I'm good. You know, I was like, give me a paycheck in a hot country, and I'm fine. You know, but obviously, you know, parents are just like, no, Dens, get your degree. You know, basketball's not going to be there for 30 odd years. You know, make sure you have something you can fall back on and have a strong backbone. And education is going to give you that. So I was just like, oh, fine, if I must, you know. So actually, one of my close friends, he actually played for Plymouth the year before I came. So he was already kind of in the student professional basketball setup, and he was just telling me like, oh yeah, Plymouth, they have a new coaching staff, kind of new management, kind of new face of Plymouth Raiders coming in. And they're holding the tryouts at this date. You should email the coach and just check it out. So now I figured, you know, just go through my drafts, you know, at junior college, trying to get to a 4-year school. Yeah, cool. I'll use the same one. Hi, coach. My name's Denzel. Played here, 6'2", whatever. Sent him my highlight tape, and he said, yeah, sure, just come through to the tryout. You know, there's a spot on the pro team for you and a scholarship up for grabs. So you do well at the tryout, then, you know, it's yours type of thing. But prior to that, actually, don't know if he was going to get onto it, but I actually tore my ACL scrimmaging during the summer. You know, I was just working out, just doing ridiculous amount of, like, definitely overkilling myself, you know, doing sprint in the morning, working out in the afternoon, scrimmaging at nighttime. Like, it was just too much for the body to take. But I ended up tearing my ACL and rehabbing a year prior to this tryout, you know. So that's kind of how it started. I kind of lost my tangent of where I was going with this, but yeah, that's that.
No, that's cool actually for us to rewind a little bit, because I did want to get to that, and just because knowing that now you're doing a sports rehab degree as well, I just wanted to know how your a few things actually, but I wanted to know how your injury sort of played into your decision to choose sports rehab rather than like a sports science degree, for example, or some other sports related course.
Yeah. So again, another flashback. In America, I actually wanted to do athletic training. That's what they call it. Yeah, sports therapy, athletic training. So I actually wanted to do that, but couldn't, because the basketball schedule, I wouldn't be able to like go to these different sporting events. I wouldn't be able to kind of have that teaching time with the current athletic trainer. So they said, oh yeah, unfortunately you can't do it. So I was just kind of bummed out about it, because I always had an interest in, you know, kind of helping other athletes through their injuries and kind of helping them, you know, grow and develop as well. So Plymouth, they had that opportunity for me to do sports rehab, and then I was just like, yeah, sure, definitely, you know, do it. And fortunately I had the grades for it to get into it as well. But I think after my ACL injury, that's when I was just like, I was just reading more about it, and I was just like, yeah, this is something I would, you know, definitely would like to do. And you know, after basketball, there's doors through sports rehab. You know, like I can do an extra year qualification and then get into physiotherapy, potentially work in the hospitals, or I can do the likes of I forgot the Instagram guy's name, PGF Performance. Not sure if you heard of him, but he works like different athletes, NBA guys out. So that kind of works a little bit hand in hand too. And I thought that was cool, because I'm seeing it on Instagram, you know, he looks cool working with NBA guys. It's just like, oh, I'd like to work with an NBA guy too, you know, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of, you know, influenced my decision to do sports rehab more than any of the other courses. Yeah.
And what was your mentality? Like, I mean, first of all, getting injured over summer is horrible, because that's normally get better time, right? Yeah. And then what that normally means is you as you said, you end up losing a year, but you end up rehabbing into the season, and that takes away from the time that you would have got on the court, you know, experiencing new things, improving and going through that experience as well. So what was your mentality like? Like, I mean, it must have been really, really disappointing.
Yeah, it was Yeah, it was tough, very, very tough, because that was obviously coming back off of a year at JUCO where I didn't obviously perform to my expectations. So my mentality was like, listen, this summer, I'm going to go as hard as I can, make sure I'm never getting tired in the game. I'm playing everyone. Like that whole summer was just like, look, I'm getting to a whole different level of basketball, So just working out just crazy hard, and then obviously getting an injury during the scrimmage, which kind of sucks, So that just kind of, at first I was quite in denial about it because getting the MRI and getting the MRI and the doctors saying, oh yeah, like you torn your ACL, and I'm even sitting there like saying, did I completely tear it or is it a small tear?
Can we just put it?
Like, how bad? Yeah, they was just like, you have no ACL, it's gone. And I was just like, it's a tough one, I was like, this is a tough one. But yeah, it was just one of those ones. I kind of took it at face value, like, listen, I just need to do what I can do, once I'm able to actually walk and do some exercises on my knee, just do loads of prehab before the surgery, just try and get my legs, as strong as possible. Because, after surgery, like muscle wastes.
Yeah.
Big difference, like major difference from the waste of my muscle. Like even today, you can still kind of see the difference in my legs. So I think mentally I was just like, all right, let me just do as much as I can do, like watching tons of basketball, like an insane amount of basketball, EuroLeague, Australian, NBL. I don't even know, like so many different leagues, NBA obviously. So I was just like, all right, let me just get my mental game to another level. So yeah, I think my whole mentality was there. Let me just try and do as much as I can,
Right. Did you want to say anything about knee injuries, Tom? You good?
Fuck that. Yeah, knee injuries. So I had the same, and I literally had the same reaction. I had torn ACL when I was when I turned 17, and I spent my 18th birthday in the hospital with having the operation done, so it wasn't fun. Yeah, and I also fractured my wrists at the same time on the same play, so that was quite cool. I never had any injuries before that, so it's 2 in 1, like a broken bone and torn an ACL.
Just go all in, right?
Yeah, and the funny thing is I had the same reaction that you did. It's like when I had the MRI, and then I was like, is it just a little bit torn, or is it just like, no, there's nothing left. I think it comes from the same place when you just like, can't be true. Just don't want to. Just want to live through that. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's an interesting time when you get to when you're down from an injury like that. It's a major injury, and you don't come back from it in 3 months. It's something usually you're out for 6-9 months, or no. These days you come back faster from it, but back in the day, so it's like that was what 20 years ago now for me. That was a year out. So yeah, so it was like bye. But the funny thing is, because I did play sport from the age of like 5-6, it was actually a welcome break. 'Cause then after that I enjoyed playing basketball a lot more than I was prior to the injury for some weird reason. I always put that down to the fact that I got injured and I got to actually sit down and not play, but actually watch a lot more basketball. It's an interesting shift that happens. You go from playing the game a lot to actually watching it a lot more and learning different things about it tactically and just your knowledge of different players and leagues and how they play. It's quite interesting to go through. I highly recommend to anyone who's not had a torn ACL.
Get injured.
Get injured. It's a whole new world.
Honestly.
Or don't do that. It's the worst thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure your appreciation goes up, and then when you get that opportunity to get back out on the court, I'm sure it felt all the more sweeter for both of you.
Oh, dude, it's the best. Yeah. It's the best thing is when you go back for your first like training session.
But you're like, scared though. I mean, I think the first time you're so scared, so cautious, aren't you? Just like
no, I don't know if it's the same for you, Denzel. Like the only time I got scared is when I was allowed to run like do like the first time I was told, yeah, you're not allowed to go for a quick run, like even if it's 100 meters dash or whatever, just or something like that. And I was like, nah, I'm not running. But then the first training session was different because that by the time you get to that point, my surgeon was like, oh, your knee's not stronger than it was before the operation. I was like, shit, how is that possible? It's like, yeah, we just did some stuff on your knee. Now it's supposed to be even stronger. I was like, yeah, cool. So I wasn't scared at all.
I was definitely the opposite. It was funny. I remember, I think my first kind of rehab session, I think it was a box, probably like that big, probably like 3 inches, 4 inches off the floor. And then obviously, like the dude helping me out, training me, he's just like, yeah, Denz, we're going to just do a couple jumps on it. So I'm there trying to load up and I'm just like, all right, cool. Take a step back, assess it. I'm just like, all right, cool, I got it. Still wasn't getting off the floor. It was just weird, It's just mentally weird, but
it's funny. It's one of the first exercises you do in physio is like jumping on that box and jumping off the box, and I'm like, nah, no, I'm not about that life anymore. I don't want this. Let me see it.
That was insane.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man. So then we can come back to Plymouth. You get the opportunity, you take the opportunity, and you get the role there. Initially, what was your role on the team in terms of like your standing? Were you 7th man, 8th man?
I'm actually not sure. I feel like I probably came in, obviously I came in as a university student for the team. And I think their idea was like, oh yeah, we'll get Denzel in the team, practice, maybe one of the games come in for like last minute type of things. I'm just massively assuming what they probably thought. But throughout the training sessions, like I think obviously impressed the coach enough to like actually kind of get me within probably like 8th man off the bench, 9th man off the bench, kind of early on during my first season, because I was just playing full court defense, again, trying to like crash offensive rebound as much as possible, just pretty much doing all the dirty work, and that kind of helped. And I think one game, I can't remember who was against, but ended up doing a good job defensively on like one of the better players on the team. So, coach kind of trusted me a little bit more to come in the game and do that. And then slowly start to, score a little bit more, score the ball a little bit more, ease the pressure off the other guys on the team as well. So I think it slowly started to develop. So I think coming in, it was more of a, oh yeah, you'll get probably a minute there, just to get your experience up. And then by the end of the season, I ended up starting a couple games, playing like 30 plus minutes, my first year. So it was pretty cool. Yeah. So didn't really come in with an expectation of, oh, Denz, this is your role in the team. Kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I always find it interesting, like when you have players that are used to, it doesn't really matter what level you're at, but when you're used to being one of the better players on your team, and then you're thrust into a situation where you're only getting a few minutes here and there, it really plays with your psyche if you're not patient enough to understand that as long as you do well in your minutes, you'll get more minutes. Like it can really mess with you if you're not used to having a smaller role. So as you said, you did the dirty work and worked your way up, started a few games. Now, where do you see your standing on the team? I see you guys are 5th in the standings now?
Yeah, I believe 5th. Yeah.
Starting to creep up, won every game last week.
Yeah. I feel like now my role is to definitely, still again kind of do that dirty work, kind of guard the best defenders on the team, on the others team. And I think to obviously like score the ball way more as well, trying to get to like double-digit figures each game playing, because that kind of, again, eases the pressures off the starting guys, the likes of like Ashley Hamilton, Mike Marcel, Chris, like all the scorers on the team, that eases off that pressure. And, having 5 guys on the court that can score, and then one guy subs out another guy that can come in and score, that just the whole energy of the team up, and gives a different, angle at which you can kind of play basketball as a team as a whole. So I think, coming in as that sixth, seventh man. That's kind of my main role now, just bringing that boost of energy to the game.
Do you when you, because you move a couple of times, you move teams a couple of times, do you when you make that decision to sign for a team, do you talk to the coach beforehand? Do you talk to the players that are already there? Is there any communications before, in terms of your role? And you can sort of, because I'm guessing you get a phone call from someone from that team saying, hey, we want you to be on the team. Do you then, what was the process with that? Do you actually talk to anyone before signing for a team? That's always a question I was wondering about when players decide where to go next, apart from the financial aspect from it, right? Because obviously that team will give you more, and you'd be like, maybe that will sway you towards, signing for that team. But for a player at the end of the day, more than, okay, again, the financial aspect, the role within the team is super important.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something? How does that work for you? Do you usually talk with the coaches, the players, or just
with me, I've always been at Plymouth this is my fourth season with Plymouth, so started in 2017 and then obviously till now. So I've always been with Plymouth, but I've been on the other end of it where guys that are potentially coming to the team or kind of want to come to the team, they will message me, call me, just saying like, oh, yo, Den's, like, what's Plymouth like as a city? How's the coach? You think I'll play and stuff like that? How's practice going on and stuff like that? And I try to give them, the most realistic and honest answer. Like I don't want to be that person where I'm telling them, oh yeah, it's great, all this stuff will happen for you, and yada yada yada, and then they end up coming and they're just, miserable.
For it.
You
lied.
Yeah, exactly. Like it wouldn't be good on me. It wouldn't sit well in the back of my consciousness. Like I kind of brought this player in and he's not having, a good experience here. So I've been on the other side of it where guys, contacted me, called me, and even, my coach PJ, so my first year, one player named Ron, he came for like a trial period and then had to leave. And then my last year, he came again. But prior, PJ calls me and says, oh, Den's, like, Ron, right? And I was just like, yeah, he came. And then just, again, being honest, talk to him about it. And, so I've been on the other side of players contacting me and wanting to come. So,
So here's my hot question of the evening. Like, have you ever had one player called you that you knew you wouldn't like to play with, or you wouldn't get on with personally? Dude, everything's crap here. Don't come. Have you ever done that?
Nah, honestly, I haven't. I haven't had that experience. Everyone that's contacted me is either someone that's again been at the club already, or from a different team, so to speak, or if they've already been signed and then, messaging me like, oh, how is it like and stuff like that. Just wanted to know a little bit more, knowing that, I've been in Plymouth the longest out of the current team. So there's never like been a player that I'm just like, oh yeah, this is terrible, don't come here.
It's gonna eat my minutes. It's horrible. Do you not know your history? Plymouth's been bombed to shit. We've not rebuilt anything. All right, just don't come.
That's funny, man. So me and Tom, being from Southwest London, we had the pleasure of going to a couple of London City Royals games back when those existed. RIP. We've had the pleasure of meeting a few of your teammates. I know now you play with Elavisi, Dusha, and Will Neighbor, Ashley Hamilton. What was that like having a team just be dissolved in the middle of a season? Obviously you weren't playing for the team, but just to have another team just disappear from the schedule mid-season.
I don't even know. It's his own experience, really. It's just weird. It's one of those ones you didn't really see it coming, because they was actually doing very, very well. They had an elite bunch of guys there, had a good coach at the time as well. So it's just weird, because it was just like, oh, like, what happened? And then I guess obviously a lot of things happened behind the scenes, that I'm not even 100% sure exactly what it is, but it was stuff that happened behind the scenes. And then that's just a weird one, But prior to that, I think Leeds in my first year, they dropped out, unfortunately, because I think wasn't really doing well in the league, and probably again another like financial reasons as well and venue reasons too. So that was more like it's unfortunate, but you can kind of see it kind of develop into where they might have to have dropped out. But yeah, it's just the complete opposite, seeing Royals, which is a super tough team, talented team, just fold, so it's just awkward.
Right. But you guys benefited anyway. Stole half the roster.
Yep, but half yeah.
Do they sometimes talk about it, or like is there any bad feelings or anything? Like does that conversation come up sometime with the rest of the guys, as in
here and there? Yeah, I know obviously it wasn't left on good terms, really. It really wasn't left on good terms with like some of the players. That's what I know, really. Yeah, and yeah, I've just never really got into like deep conversations with it, but I just know, it wasn't on good terms. That's right. All I know. Yeah.
Sad, sucks.
And then Jose, you wanted to ask something?
I actually wanted to ask you about this season, because it's such a new world, isn't it? Especially for professional sports. So for a team like the Plymouth Raiders that feed so much from having the fans in the stands, and now playing with nobody there, how does it feel? How different is it? And does it affect your performance in any way?
If anything, I'm probably gonna lose my voice because I'm yelling all the time, just screaming random stuff, just on the sideline yelling. But no, it is different. It was definitely different to kind of get used to at first, because again, like you said, pavilions, like it's in a venue which they hold concerts, so having the fans there, obviously it's bouncing around. It's loud, like loudest place I've played in. So we feed off of that energy a lot, and sometimes we need that energy, when the other team goes on a run, kind of energy's down, morale's a bit down. So we feed off that energy, and then kind of having, no fans there and just your teammates kind of need to bring out our own energy when these things happen. So it's 100% like just different.
Yeah, a few episodes ago, we spoke about how important during COVID times team chemistry is, because you see the Lakers, for example, they score anybody on that team scores a basket, and the bench is jumping around. So there you see that team chemistry means so much these days, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like our bench, like we definitely have the goofiest bench. Like
nice.
We'll just do anything. Like towels thrown around. Almost getting a technical foul for like lifting up the sponsor boards. But that helped. It helps.
Absolutely.
Feeding off of that energy. Teammates are getting gas for you scoring. Making a good play. So yeah, the team chemistry helps, and we have a real nice team, in terms of chemistry wise. Like there's no egos or there's no cancers of the team. Like, everyone's quite positive, and it's nice to have, nice to be around. Yeah.
And now these games with no fans are being televised on Sky.
Right.
Yep. It's crazy.
So what's that experience been like? Have you seen like an uptick in interest in social media following, in anything like that? Is it helping bring new eyes to the league?
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah. Like my girlfriend's mom and dad, they're tuned into every game, like every single game. And it's kind of cool because they're not originally like basketball fans, but last time I saw them, they're telling me about the players. They're just like,
nice.
Oh yeah, this player, like he's really good, or this player, he needs to start catching the ball more, or he needs to run this play more. And I'm just there like, what? Because they're just so into it and invested into it, which I love. So yeah, Sky Sports, that definitely helps, because that's obviously reaching an audience that probably didn't even know basketball existed in Plymouth, or didn't know basketball existed in whatever city that we play against and whatnot. So it is nice to see that that social media presence come about a lot more. So nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's needed. I think the BBL needs a big name to broadcast games like that. You know, I'm massively into EuroLeague basketball, and I think the UK needs a team that, you know, in that league to represent the UK. Because I've been saying for the past 25 years, been doing this podcast, that there's a lot of potential in the UK for it. I think there's actually a bit of hunger for it also. But having a big team also goes through, you know, and one of the main pillars of getting financially sound teams, and those teams to be in Europe, I think is having a big broadcasting name back in the league. So I think it's a good step in that direction. I don't know, actually, to be honest, I don't really know the financial details of that, if that's something that's bringing a lot of money in, or if it's been one of those deals that's been made just to get some sort of coverage. So it got bought really cheap. I'm not really sure what the deal was. But it's definitely a good step forward, I think, for the entire league.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one, you know. Again, like you, I don't really know if it's, you know, what it is financially or how it's set up like that, you know, but it's definitely a stepping stone, you know. And I won't be surprised, like, years down the line, like, you know, I think, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure football team did have like a basketball affiliate team in this country. I could be making that up. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I read and heard it from
is it Leicester?
I wanted to say, I'm not sure.
Is it Leicester? I did hear something along those lines, though, which is closer to the European system, right? Where you know, Barcelona, AC Milan have
Madrid.
Well, it's more of a, I think it's more of a Spanish thing. Maybe a Greek thing also. Actually, Turkish. Actually, no. Damn, you're right. Because the more I'm thinking about it, it's also Bayern Munich that's benefiting from the football team. But yeah, Madrid, Barcelona.
And most teams in Spain and in Italy as well.
France also it's getting there. I know my team is now teaming up with the football team, and it's making a big impact financially.
Definitely. I think you need to start somewhere, right? So having a broadcast, whatever the deal financially is, it benefits the sport in a way.
Yeah.
So what you have to say is, obviously you need to change the complete infrastructure and the way that the sport is set up from age 0 to the pros, right? For you to see real results, but to have this is a massive stepping stone, as you said, then. So I think, benefits for everybody who loves the sport, really.
100%, you know, 100%. And like you said, a stepping stone, like you'll see all the football teams, like there'll be academies set up for kids from when they're like 5 or younger. I'm not sure really how it's set up, but there's that stepping stone from their younger, you know, like translating that to like basketball, where, you know, a BBL team could have an academy like that from when they're young, and then keep that in that, you know, that pathway up until they become a pro themselves. Like, you'll start to see more kids wanting to stay. You know,
there's the academy and the structure being set up for young kids. Like, for example, like I've got a 4-year-old son, right? I would like him ideally to pick up a basketball at some point, but to me, there's not really a simple and cheap way to get him into basketball, to get him into a team. Like, if I was back in France now, I could already sign him up next year, and I would know where to go, and I would know what the steps are to get him onto a team. Like here, the information is either unattainable or very convoluted that you just give up after a while. Or the other option is to get them onto a football team. That's dead easy to get on, you know, get into. Because it's literally now at every single corner, like every single park, you see coaches.
Football academy.
Football academies. Like I live in South London, so like Chelsea's got a stronghold on everything around here. It's like every single football pitch is Chelsea. You know, that's fine, but that's something that is lacking. Is the grassroots level is just that getting kids into organized basketball is I think is super hard in the UK. I think that coupled with the government decision to cut all the fundings after 2012, that was a massive blow. Also, I think that actually for the first time in my life I got pissed off, properly pissed off for something UK based. I was like, what are you guys doing?
And you did a news spot for that, didn't you? You were on one of the news channels talking about about how many people actually play basketball in the UK and how grassroots needed to be better fed, I believe.
This was myself.
Wasn't it? I think so. 2012. Does that not check out?
No.
2012.
After they cut the funding, were you here?
I was here, yeah. I think I was. Geez, how long is 2012?
Maybe I'm imagining it.
Dude, that's 9 years ago.
Do you know what? I'm gonna search for this. I might cut this from the podcast if I can't find it. But I'm gonna search for it and I'll show you.
Dave. We said we keep all of the
gag
footnotes.
reel.
We keep them in.
Funny.
Just put it in the gag reel.
No, I said I'm not cutting shit anymore. Just leave everything in these days.
Oh man. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's assume it wasn't you and I'll cut it.
It made me look bad. All right. So so with that, I think we're done on that area. I ask all of our guests this one question. You can take a bit of time to think about it and Tom won't edit it out. And just could you tell us one thing that you just love about basketball?
Yeah. That's a good question. That's a tough question. I think one thing I love about basketball is the sense of community that's in basketball. You know, I think this kind of goes away from even like scoring on the basketball court, like the highlight reels, the cool plays. I think it more comes from, you know, the away journeys with your teammates, you know, the locker room banter, the practice banter, like the silly stuff, because those are the things you will forever remember. Like I have tons of stories, you know, from under 15, you know, going to team bowling, or like, you know, teammates just bantering each other on a away game to wherever it is. And, you know, even just so many like stories just away from the actual playing the game of basketball, you know? So I don't think it's more the community and culture behind it off the court. I think that might be the right term to use, community and culture of it, you know? Yeah, so I think that's the one I actually love about basketball. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
you
then
my answer.
And then how did you get into NBA basketball?
Funny you say that. I'm still trying to. It's funny. Yeah, I'm more, you know, into EuroLeague kind of basketball Champions League and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, because I think like my mind is like, you know, I would watch NBA for like the individual kind of skills. When it comes to EuroLeague and, you know, basketball Champions League type basketball, I watch it for the whole basketball as a package. Like, okay, why did they run this play? Why did they run, like, more tactics? Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say. You know, the more tactics of basketball. You know, that's kind of, so yeah, I'm still trying to get into NBA, but I think this year I've tried a little bit, stayed up till 3, 4 in the morning. So I've tried my best.
It's dedication.
That's the thing. It's just so hard to watch NBA games here in England, man. Like when I was living in Argentina, I could watch them. You know, we're at the same time zone. Like now I've had to stay awake. Like,
it's tough. It is tough, you know. Definitely tapped out like halftime, and I'm just like, yeah, I've seen enough. It's bedtime, you know. But yeah, so to answer that question, I'm still trying to get into the you know. But I have a bit of knowledge, a little bit of knowledge. Yeah.
So you don't have a team then?
Funny, I do have a team. You know, I think from last playoffs, Miami Heat, they went on to their run. Yeah, Miami Heat when they went on.
It's a good team.
Yeah, you know, with Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson. And I think the more reason I watch Miami Heat and kind of support that team is obviously like everyone's kind of like underdogs on that team, you know? So they just got a grit and grind, like, you know, it's just crazy hustle about them, you know? Yeah, no pun intended. But yeah, they just got crazy, they got a crazy, you know, just dog mentality about that, you know? And Duncan Robinson, that's kind of like one of the guys I like to watch because he can shoot the hell out of the ball, you know? And it's kind of one of those ones like, yeah, if I can have half of his shooting, I think I'll be good in life. You know? I think I'll be good.
Can I, if you love, I mean, you know, tough playing and Leaving it all on the floor. I mean, may I suggest you to follow the Knicks? They're a good team to.
Yeah, the Knicks. All right, cool.
I can recruit you.
The ultimate underdogs.
Dude, I'm all alone on the island. I'm lonely. I need people.
Nah, I feel you. Yeah, no, I'll definitely check the Knicks out. Definitely check them out.
Dave is the gold digger. It's like the Lakers fan. Yeah, it's just that you went with the easy one.
Can't blame him, to be honest. Can't blame him.
Gravitate towards excellence. What can I say?
Hey, there you go.
All right. So with that, we can begin our all-star draft. I've got the list to my right. I just need to grab a pen.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to write them down?
I got it.
You
Just
got
had
it?
to reach. Yeah. To do the Jordan stretch.
Actually, let me write them down too, so I can judge. Once we say who's gonna win this.
Yeah.
Be able to judge.
All right. Have you guys got a list ready? So you know who's available?
Yeah.
Just about. Again, this is me trying to raise my NBA IQ up a little bit. Still struggling.
We are going to draft our NBA All-Stars for the 2020-2021 show.
Yep.
Can you say that again? 2020 what?
2020-2021.
Yeah, so 20.
Keep up, man. So with Durant injured, I guess Jose is going to be representing the East, but as Giannis, as the next leading vote getter. So Giannis is already off the table as a starter. I'm assuming this is how the NBA is going to do it, but I have no idea.
That's how we do it, and that's how they'll do it because they listen to us.
Yeah. I'll give them the idea and plant it. So Giannis is off the board, but Denzel, you're going to be representing Team LeBron.
Yep.
You are on the clock first. You have access to the other, how many are left? The other 8 starters.
Starters, cool. And this is from East and West, right? This just goes to show.
Yeah.
Little NBA I know. All right, cool.
You can pick from either side. Obviously, LeBron's off the board. Giannis is off the board.
Okay. Yeah, I already know who I'm going with first. Yeah, first pick definitely has to be AD, Anthony Davis, man.
Ooh.
All right.
He's injured.
He's injured, Russell. Damn it.
Yeah. And he's a reserve as well.
Is it?
Snap.
So you have to pick from the starters pool.
Oh, all right.
So those first.
Hold up. Where are we?
Yeah, so the first one's at the top. We've got so Steph, Beal, Doncic, Embiid, Jokic, Irving, Tatum, and Leonard.
All right, cool. Yeah, all right. Definitely my first pick, Kyrie Irving. Yeah, man.
Okay, reuniting the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he'll pick Irving as well. Maybe not first, but I think he'll pick him.
Yeah.
Every time he has the chance to, he does.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Kyrie's a baller though. Like,
Yeah,
man, that guy is different. All right, Jose, you're on the clock.
My first pick is Steph Curry.
Nice. He loves to throw Giannis the oops in these games.
There you go.
Sure.
All right. You're on the clock.
Cool. I'm gonna go. Oof. Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go. Hold on, let me just double check.
Tough decision, man.
Serious business. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, second pick is gonna have to be Embiid, man.
Okay. Nice pick.
Yeah. Definitely Embiid.
All right.
Might pick up the MVP this year.
I think he might,
Oh.
you know.
That's a scary start already. Like starters like Braun, Irving, and Embiid on the same team. Okay.
I love it.
Right. So my third pick is going to be Luka Doncic. Luka Magic.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it.
Luka Doncic.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're on my third. Yeah, third pick. All right. Third pick. Go Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is the starter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, Bradley Beal. Yeah, definitely Bradley Beal.
Yes, please.
He's doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Future
Fair
Knicks.
enough.
Scoring the hell out of that game.
All right. So I am going to pick the Claw, Kawhi.
That's a good pick. Kawhi Leonard.
Indeed.
So who are the two players left, Dave?
So left over we have Nikola Jokic and we have Jason Tatum available.
Yep.
All right.
Correct.
Yeah, for me, yeah, it's gotta be Jokic.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I have no center now. I'm gonna have to play Giannis at center.
He needed a point guard. He needed a point guard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so I guess I have Jason Tatum left.
Yeah.
So Jason Tatum completes the starters.
Oh.
All right. And now we move to the reserves.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously Anthony Davis is injured. He was replaced by Devin Booker.
Yeah.
And Tatum moved into the Durant slot, so Sabonis slots in as a reserve.
Yeah.
All right. So I believe Giannis Jose would get the first pick of the reserves.
Right. So my first pick is Damian Lillard. Aha.
Yeah.
Gotta have him, mate. Gotta have him.
Have to. I was gonna say my first one. Oof, it's gonna be CP3, man.
Ooh.
Okay,
All
the
right.
brain. The brain.
Put him in there.
CP.
Nice. Right. I am going to go for Donovan Mitchell.
Okay.
Man, your team is tiny.
Positionless basketball, man.
That's true. That's true. It doesn't mean anything anymore these days.
It's a 3-point fest in the All-Star game anyway.
I'm gonna go Zach Levine, you know.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
controversial.
Interesting.
Yeah,
It's a fun pick, man.
exactly. He's been killing it this year as well, honestly.
He's been insane.
Mhm.
And lately he's been hot as well.
Yeah. So Zach Levine.
Nice. All right. So I'm gonna make my team a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna pick Zion.
Zion.
Tough.
Shout out to Patrice. Zion
Zion's
lover.
biggest fan.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sure I got this right. Has Devin Booker been picked?
Not yet.
Not yet. Yep. Bring on Devin
Yeah.
Booker. Yep.
Another gunner.
Yep. Went over there.
Another scorer, huh?
Got the young guns.
Yeah.
Denzel's team's going to
Okay.
score 170 at this rate. It's like going for 180.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Going for 200.
So I want another big, so I'm going for Rudy Gobert,
Thank you.
The big.
representing.
Takes the
Taking
big
that one
French.
personally. Well done.
All right, cool. How many's left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 left. Am I right? Think
So
about
Yeah.
you've got 8.
1, 2,
You've got 8. So
3,
I think another
7.
4.
There's 7 players left.
4,
Yeah.
5.
7 left.
7.
So it's 4 for Denzel and 3 for Jose, right?
Correct.
Or am I
Oh,
counting right? Yeah. 7.
No, yeah, 7. Yeah, I got 7. All right, cool. I'm gonna go Julius Randle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
One
I'm
of
gonna
good
go.
picks.
The New York Knickerbocker.
Yeah, man. Shout out
Best
to
player in that team, yeah.
yeah,
It's a team effort. Team effort.
team.
Right. Give me Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
All right. The LeBron James stopper.
Like that.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go Ben Simmons. You know,
Okay.
yeah. Average height on his team is pretty sure it's like 6'7" right now.
Don't let him,
Yeah.
don't let him shoot the trees, man.
He's going
Yeah.
to.
Except Simmons, yeah. Except Simmons. Everyone else.
Someone has to pass it to
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
him.
Exactly.
I want Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
Wow. We're now reaching disrespectful territory.
Yeah. That's literally what I was thinking. Is like who's gonna pick Sabonis for the not pick, get Sabonis as the disrespected pick, but that's fine. So who's left then?
So we still have Paul George. We still
Yes.
have James Harden.
I know.
And we still have Nikola Jokic.
No,
Jokic.
Vucevic.
No, Jokic. No, Jokic. Jokic is already
Sorry,
gone.
Vucevic.
Vucevic.
Vucevic. That was racist.
It is, isn't it?
All right. That's hilarious.
You know what? I'm laughing at two things: your racism, Dave, which is funny, but mainly the James Harden thing.
Yeah, I know.
That
Yeah,
makes-
that's insane.
pleases me.
That's fair.
Pleases me.
That's
Disgrace.
actually crazy. Has to happen. Yeah, I'm gonna go Nikola. Yeah.
Vucci.
Vucevic.
Oh wow! Wow!
Yeah.
No, I actually understand that because when you look
I'll
at his
shoot them.
team, like there's a bunch of guards already.
Lots
Like,
of guards. Yeah.
There are far better players. I think that's the. Anyway, next.
My last pick.
Oh, please do it. Do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the beard. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dude.
James Harden.
And then Denzel's
And
getting
Paul
that
George.
leaves
Paul
you
George.
with Paul
G? Yeah.
George.
disrespectful.
Hey, he's playing well. I just don't want him on my team.
Yeah, that's kind of.
It's fair enough. It's fair enough. It's fair enough.
All right. So our teams are set. We have Denzel, captain of Team LeBron, who has obviously got LeBron, Kyrie Irving, Joel Embiid, Bradley Beal, Nikola Jokic,
What a
CP3,
team.
Zach Levine, Devin Booker, Julius Randle, Ben Simmons, Nikola Vucevic, and Paul George. And then Jose stepping in for Team Durant has Giannis Antetokounmpo, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Zion Williamson, Rudy Gobert, Jaylen Brown, Domantas Sabonis, and James Harden. Man, there's a lot of talent in the NBA.
Oh,
Insane.
This game's going to be wild. Who you got, Tom?
I'm just looking at Jose's pick is heavily relying on the West. So Jose went Western Conference heavy. And Denzel
right.
went a bit Eastern.
Yeah.
You know what? I like Denzel's team. Like I love the starting five, Like I would love to have that as being a coach. As a coach, I love to see that on the court. But I don't know. The thing is, Jose's got Luka and Steph Curry in there and Lillard. So it's like literally my top 3 favorite players in the NBA. And then Denzel's got Beal, who is like right now quite hot. Like
yeah.
I got your French one too, man.
Yeah, and you gotta go back. Okay, fine. I go with Jose because he's sweet talking me into it. I'm sorry. I was trying to please the guest, but it's not happening.
And I'm gonna go the other way because LeBron does not lose.
There you go. There you have it.
All right, man. So we'll wrap up there. Thanks for coming on, Denzel, man. Been great talking to you. All the best for the season. And hopefully we'll have you back on at some point.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
All right. So as always, remember to like, share, subscribe, and review the podcast wherever you listen. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the like, hit the subscribe button, click the bell so you get notifications. I have been David Sagoe, your host. Thomas Arnal.
Hi. Goodbye.
Jose Garcia Vidal.
Cheers, guys.
And our guest Denzel Ubiaro.
Yes. Yep.
All right, and we're out of here.